You have finances going on, you have programs, staff has been hired, and they're working. And so you've hired your teachers. There was a lot of work that went into getting schools up and running, and that hasn't really stopped. And the point I want to make here is that even though you've been around for a long time, the same phenomena happens if in an organizational structure, if we start asking, even though we've been around a long time, people to do lots of things very quickly, we will burn them out. We will burn out our professional staff. We will burn out, and you won't get the things that you want done, and it will crash. And when was the union formed? I don't know that. A long time ago.
Teachers union was.
No, not the teachers. I'm sorry. The SZEG. When was that? Yeah, long time ago. My point is, even though it was a long time ago, when that first started, lots of stuff went, and people got burnt out. And then there was an evolution, and another group of people came in, and that board and that group of teachers. So even though you've been around a long time, you have to be cautious that you don't burn out your folks in trying to get the stuff done, and you pace it accordingly. Also keep in mind that no organization benefits unless there's a certain amount of discourse. And that seems really strange, because it's like you create enough discourse to have the organization change, but you keep it in the limits that people can manage it. Because if there is no discourse, there is no change, and you don't go anywhere. You just become a flatline. Everybody's content with the organization, and there's no effort to improve. Everything can improve. Boards can improve. Teachers teaching in classrooms can improve. Students and their efforts can improve. Parents' participation, engagement. There's always room for improvement. So part of your role is how do we create enough discontent to have things get better, but keep it within the realm of it's manageable, and we're not burning out staff, but everyone's striving to do better in the organization. Does that make any sense?
It makes a lot of sense, because lots of times we look back at, well, how do we burn these people out? We burn them out because we worked too hard.
We pushed them too fast, too hard, and we gave them too many things to do.
That's right.
So as a board, you've got to be thinking about what are the really most important things, and that's why we did some of this work before, to say, we're going to do several things well. You know, that less is more. And we're not going to try to do everything and fix everything right away. And if you can look back at some immediate success, say, we focused on this and look at what we're doing, they're going to feel good, you're going to feel good, and people are more willing to, hey, let's take on the next one. You know?
Yeah.
Well, do you remember when we were doing the principal interview, one of the teachers said, we're not afraid of change, we're just sick of it.
Yeah.
We've had so many principals in the last, 5 years, they're not afraid of it, we're just tired of it. We're just tired.
That's a good quote. Who said that?
It was Joe Walker.
Joe O'Brien.
Yeah, it's just that they've had so many changes, so.
I got to use that on opening day.
Right.
That's a great word. We're not afraid of it. We're just sick of it. And you can't blame them.
No, you can't.
There is some, I've heard there needs to be stability. We need to have a superintendent that's going to stick around and help us get through. We need principals, leadership. And so as long as we're working collaboratively, I don't think you're going to find a turnover. People are going to say, we like what's happening, and they're going to put the effort into it. Then we go to grounding and delivery. As more paid staff come on board, so you've got your system of, right across all your schools, the board begins to need to centralize unified direction. That came about through the SAU, right? And you started to have functions where you had to hire staff that who's going to manage the books and who's going to provide the leadership. And so you evolved as an organization. But that organization is in some place right now. Are they working well? Is it not working well? And so you have to look at it as a board that this is all happening right now in real time. How would you evaluate those systems? And then you have maturing. By this point, you have a cycle of the school. It's firmly established. Basic resources are in place, and typically the growth of the school continues at a steady pace, continues to grow, creates demands for more resources. More resources is both people resources and money resources. So what I'm going to have you do is, we won't talk about this during lunch, but before lunch, go to this chart here. What do I have on the top of that? Organizational evolution?
Doesn't have anything.
Developing growth and maturity.
Okay.
That's the one.
All right. So developing, this should start to make a little bit more sense. So you have an entrepreneur, someone who came in with a great idea, had all this energy, all this enthusiasm. Maybe that's a me now at this point in the organization, you know. So I'm not the founder, obviously, but we are a developing organization where at this point in time, you have somebody who has, you know, the excitement to make some changes, creativity, devotion-driven, you know, like really believes in what they're doing, and then a spirit to get something done. Now, as a board, when you think of yourself, where would you put yourself?
The board, where would we put the board or ourselves on the board?
Well, what's your perception? What's your perception as a board in looking at the organization?
Should we put a little green dot on there?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet, because I really want to go, I want you to think about this for a bit, and you have to see how this fits in, because your dots are going to end up going all over the place. Or, remembering now, we have programs management, so on the left-hand side, it's where you think, you know, the organization is for each one of those areas for developing growth and maturity. For growth, putting the vision in place, putting the pieces in place to implement the vision, you know, building the organization. My eyes are starting to go. Stability driven. So, for example, do you have the financial software in place? Do you have the people in place that the organization can run, you know, by itself? Do you have the curriculums in place? Create a board culture of achievement, policy-focused board, trust in themselves and each other. So in terms of your perception, would you be in the developing as a board, the growth, or maturity? Capitalization, maintaining change, longevity-driven, and results-driven. Now, capitalization is you got all the money you need. You got the resources that you need. You're able to maintain the change as you move the organization along. Longevity-driven. You have people in place for quite a while that have the history and the knowledge to be able to keep this, you know, moving along. And results-driven. You're making decisions. You're a high-performing machine there. You're cranking stuff in as a board. You're getting stuff done, and you're seeing the results. So that's one. Then you go to